Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant news and plenty happening in the Valorant world right now. As we seem to enter a period of coach and analyst mania, the Guard, 100 Thieves, other organizations as well, potentially looking to make some additions to their teams. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Firstly, tomorrow, the 23rd of March, we're going to get an announcement here from the Guard. Now, I mean, look, the chair they kind of bring up makes me think it's going to be some kind of coach, analyst, general manager, something like that. Like, it's someone else coming into the roster. Now, I mean, look, I imagine not on the starting team because their starting roster is very good right now. No reason to make a change over there. But potentially some addition to, and the Guard have a lot of money behind them, right? Like, I believe they are owned by Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, to Stan Kroenke and well, kind of his organization over there. So they have a lot of resource behind them, which is kind of a new organization people might not really consider. But I mean, still, they do have the power to go out and get a potentially big name coach, analyst, whatever, because we know that Seangares is potentially there on the market. Like, there's been a lot of theories about the fact that, okay, Seangares not going to be casting anymore. What does he want to do? A kind of coach/analyst role might make perfect sense for a guy like him. And the Guard may have been some of the first to reach out and say, look, this is the best and brightest opportunity that you have out there right now if, like, you don't want to go to Sentinels or whatever the money situation might be. Who even knows? But yeah, the Sentinels question is there. The Guard question is certainly there. Maybe this question might be answered here in the coming days. You'd imagine it will be answered tomorrow, at least based on the date they put in this one. No, of course, well, as Exalt says, Seangares signed as analyst for the Guard, GG. So yeah, just speculation at this point. But I mean, that'd be a block. But if they manage to make that happen, that'd be very impressive, right? Given the fact that Seangares, if he is going to go as an analyst anywhere, like, I mean, Sentinels makes the most sense given his history with Sick and ShahZaM. But if they manage to get him to the Guard, like, I mean, look, we'll have to see. But I'm sure he's going to go somewhere around here, you would imagine. And maybe that's a possibility. Now, a lot of the Valorant pros have been dropping around to kind of expect the unexpected thing going on here. Like, Seven, of course, was on T1 until just a few days ago. Then he was released from the roster. We'll have a look at their replacement here for him in just a second. But also where Seven might potentially end up, because who knows what's going to happen in this rostermania type period. Vanity also says expect the unexpected. I feel like this just goes around, to be honest. Like, when one player tweets it out, the other players tweet it out as well. And even though this might be flooding around on Twitter, doesn't necessarily mean there's anything major going on. Even though, in fairness, there probably is something major going on. We'll have a look at it with 100 Thieves as well here in just a second. So yeah, lots of questions to be answered over the coming days. In this period between the 2 weeks of playoffs in North America, the European one, the EMEA one, actually starts later on today. We're going to discuss here in a few minutes' time. But yeah, this also from Sentinels thought was kind of funny. You guys keep saying watched. I think you mean watched, because I mean, yeah, the most watched matches generally are going to be the Sentinels guys. I do wonder how this affects things, right? Given they won't be at Masters. Like, I imagine it'll affect the viewership to some degree. It's unfortunate. Biggest organization in North America. Not the results, unfortunately, to match it up right now. But in fairness, from Ascend, actually, they come out and kind of a handshake with the Sentinels, just because, I mean, yeah, both these big name organizations failed to qualify for their respective Masters, right? I mean, Ascend didn't even make the playoffs. Sentinels made the playoffs, but couldn't make it all the way through to Masters, unfortunately. So yeah, two of these organizations not going to be there. Changing of the Guard, you could certainly argue in the North American side. And, well, the Guard, of course, will still certainly in discussion. Now, well, speaking of Seven and T1 real quick, because they say this a couple of days ago, that Seven's going to be out of the roster, moved to the inactive roster, formerly of 100 Thieves. Like, there were some questions where he's going to go. Is he going to be a great addition to this T1 team? Doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case. The supposed replacement is going to be a player called Dynamic, formerly of Brimstone Gaming, can you believe? So, I mean, yeah, apparently that's who they're going to be playing with. So pretty interesting stuff, replacing Seven on this team. I think Dynamic and Steel actually play ranked together a fair bit as well. So maybe a former relationship going on there that could brew into something pretty special within this roster. Who knows what's going to happen? But Seven has been the other question. Where is he going to go? Like, the 100 Thieves get him back, right? Probably not going to be the case. But I mean, yeah, still, this was noticed yesterday that a matchup on the kind of the Knights Gauntlet between TSM and this other roster here on the right-hand side, you've got, well, Seven stepping in to play this game for them. Now, a very interesting stuff, actually, with Seven is playing with TSM right now. Big man officially returns. So, I mean, yeah, the people are like, okay, wow, what's going on here, right? Is TSM, like, Seven's gone from T1, TSM looking to make an upgrade, Wardell wasn't in the team, so people are like, okay, what's going on here, right? Why is Wardell gone? Like, yeah, what's going on with TSM? Are they making some sort of change? Because that is the thing, like, these teams that failed to qualify for, well, challenges in general, in TSM's case, also for other teams, the playoffs, right, and even the Masters event, in the place of Sentinels, in the case of Sentinels, what are they going to do? Are they going to make some changes? 100 Thieves, of course, in a very similar boat as well. So they've got to think, okay, what are we planning to do here? Like, a TSM also in a similar boat. They're considering roster moves. So far, they've kind of, well, left it to the wayside, brought in like a general manager, brought in some other players, and kind of changed the culture around the team, and hopefully things will work out. People saw this and thought, okay, hang on a second, are they actually going to make some sort of roster move? Turns out that's not going to be the case. Wardell says, I just woke up, I'm late for my match, oh, thanks for filling in Seven. But in fairness, they come through this match and win it 13-0. Yes, this was just like a kind of qualification game against this roster to get into the kind of actual bracket play, but still 13-0 here on Haven in a best of 1. 7 goes 14-7. Like, look, it's not all that much of a big deal. 7 steps in, it does the job of wardell. They probably would have 13-0'd even with wardell in the team. But still, whenever something like this does happen, you do have to think, okay, like maybe this team thinks, wow, 7, he was a pretty good fill-in at that point. Maybe as a result of this game, he can get an opportunity elsewhere. And if TSM do start to struggle with wardell in the roster, then maybe they think, okay, actually 7, hang on a second, maybe that was actually a pretty good fit for the team that we did not expect. So interesting stuff. I guess we shall stay tuned for this one. Let's talk then about 100 Thieves, because earlier in the video we talked about Seangares, his casting partner of course being DDK, legendary Counter-Strike caster like from way back in the day at esports, now well of course in the Valorant side. Very surprising to a lot of people, including myself, Riot didn't decide to bring Seangares and DDK back in for the Masters. Pretty sure they're going to finish, or at least DDK is going to finish this kind of stint of the VCT, and then he's going to be done. Now well, he's obviously looking for other opportunities. The question is, where's he going to do? What's he going to do? And well, supposedly, according to George Geddes and Purist, 100 Thieves have discussed appointing a general manager for their Valorant roster. One of those discussed is former commentator DDK. So, well, obviously 100 Thieves in a very tough spot right now. They need to figure out what are they going to do with their roster. Can they possibly make it work? We've seen this happen before, right, with the likes of Henry G, for example, going on, I believe he was the GM for Cloud9, like the kind of Colossus thing they had going on. Didn't really work out all that well over there. But, I mean, look, still, guys like DDK, guys like Seangares could be great opportunities for a position like this. Of course, it's very likely Seangares will be on the more analytical side, as we talked about with the guards, Sentinels potentially, but DDK could be a great fit for a kind of GM position. Now, of course, a GM like has to decide, okay, what's the roster going to do? Which players are we going to bring in, bring out? Like, what's the scouting going to be for future talent? So this seems very interesting. This might be the direction 100 Thieves decide to take, just because they don't seem particularly keen to make a roster change, despite the fact that this team currently doesn't seem to be great. There's been plenty of talk on what this team should do. Should they split up the core? Should they keep the core? Are Bang and JC Starny the right fit around the core of Hiko, Ethan, and Asuna? But, I mean, yeah, this is kind of the discussion right here. One of the candidates that has been discussed internally is former commentator DDK, according to 2 sources. The 33-year-old retired from commentating 2 days ago, cited a disagreement between him and Riot Games as one of the contributing factors. He stated a couple of days ago he's not going to be part, of course, of the Masters event in Reykjavik, and basically said, look, I'm stepping away for now. No, well, Seangares also said the other day that he's got some plans in the horizon. He's going to give whatever he does next, his absolute utmost, his full attention, and I'm sure DDK finds himself in a rather similar boat. So, nice long thread right here, basically saying like, look, he's away for now, maybe he can step back in the future, but yeah, for now he wants to explore something else, and maybe this could be a 100 Thieves general management position. Well, certainly with Ethan, there's been some big questions there. Ethan stepped in as the in-game leader, right, for this roster, to so far not particularly great effect, so that has kind of been the question right around this team in general, like, what are you going to do if you're Ethan, if you are 100 Thieves? Is Ethan going to still be the IGL, right? Are you going to say JC Starny take over the responsibility? Like, it seems like they need someone above them, a coach or a GM, to kind of help with these decisions and decide, okay, this player isn't performing, we need to make these moves, because of course the players themselves are always going to be biased depending on what's best for them, right? What's in their best interest. No player's going to say that they themselves should be benched from the roster. You need someone else above them to actually make that move. So 100 Thieves deciding, okay, this is maybe a step in the right direction for this team and their potential, but is DDK the right fit for this position? That is certainly another question you guys might have as well. And of course the Seangares question is up in the air also. Like, is he going to go to a guard? Is he going to go to a Sentinels as an analyst? Is there another possibility there? But I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, when these guys step away from commentating, all of a sudden other opportunities open up and organizations want to get involved and bring these guys expertise on as part of their own organization, which puts them kind of, if anything, closer to the competitive scene and well, to having impact on the actual competitive circuit itself. So I imagine there's other candidates than just DDK for that position at 100 Thieves, but if 2 sources have said that he's been considered, then you would imagine that well, discussions have gone on. That may be well what gets confirmed over these coming days, because they've got a lot of work to do, 100 Thieves, to turn this roster around before they get a chance to qualify once again for stage 2, which I believe begins right at the start of May. Just wanted to mention this as well before we talk about the European qualifiers going on. The North American scene has had a tough time with the tornadoes going pretty rogue. Like, people have definitely been getting hit by some issues, so pretty tough to see, to be honest. Hopefully the players will get through this and it's all okay, but yeah, I guess tornado season, baby. Let's dive into this then, right? So the EMEA Playoffs is beginning later on today, the 24th on this coming, what is it, Thursday? That's when the North American ones resume again after 2 teams already been eliminated. But I mean, 2 teams eliminated from North America, only 6 teams anyway qualified for the playoffs in the European side. Shox actually is returning, I thought was very cool indeed. Great to see her on a Valorant broadcast, and absolutely stacked her talent lineup, no doubt. This is the bracket then. So FPX and Fnatic got the kind of buys into upper semi-finals because they did so well in their respective groups. Up of round 1 is very spicy. Like, honestly, the top side of the bracket is, well, honestly, the bottom side as well, but it's very exciting because M3 champions is Gambit esports, right? So, not called Gambit, but in fairness, ever since they became M3 champions, they've absolutely been smoking everyone, to be honest. They play guild, very solid roster, we're looking very good right at the start. Since then, I think a lot of the top teams have closed the gap a little bit between guild and the rest of them, so, you know, I kind of think that, well, Gambit should be the favourites here, no doubt. They probably should win this one. Then you've got G2 Liquid. Like, this series is always a cracker between these two organizations. Like, G2 have been looking very good, but Liquid, of course, should be the better team here, at least in theory, but as so far this last stage, they haven't looked all that great, to be perfectly honest. But, I mean, yeah, Scream Nevera, when they went into the World Championship, they were looking like, you know, one of the strongest teams in the entire game. Didn't end up working out for them in the end, but I think I'm going to take Liquid 2-1 in this series against G2, and probably, well, probably Gambit 2-0 in this top series. I feel like they're going to continue their reign. But yeah, Fnatic versus Gambit, if we do get that, it's going to be an absolute banger of a series, to be honest, because Fnatic right now, arguably, looking like the best team in Europe, if not the world. We'll see if Will Gambit can do anything about that one. And just to finish off with this clip here from Zekken, just well, fantastic stuff. The breach comes in, unlucky son, you're getting headshotted regardless. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on a like button, tells your YouTube god this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.